Welcome, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to the end of a crazy week. Strange days, definitely. When I was the other day, my youngest son, after I did my last one of these, my youngest son was asking essentially if I plan these out beforehand or if I make them up as I go along. And the answer is a little bit of both. So it's kind of like a little bit of both. Today I was thinking about what I was going to talk about, and I came across a friend of mine and one of my yoga students' Facebook pages, and he's also a local actor. And he was talking about how, with a lot of the uncertainty and in a couple of Facebook groups he's in, people have been getting snippy and everybody's kind of on edge. And he was describing it as sort of like in the theater productions he does, they have a night called Tech Night where they do a lot of rehearsals. And he wrote about, one of the quotes he wrote, or one of the lines he said, is that during that time, it goes bad before it goes good. And that's sort of, I think, where we're at now. And and RJ, his name's RJ, was telling me, or telling this on Facebook, that whenever the directors always yell, practice patience, practice patience. And that's also one of the things that meditation teaches us, is practicing patience. So I think patience is definitely important, and we're going to talk about that and practice that this evening. So when we get into practicing patience, what I think we want to do while meditating is, and we all do this at other parts in our life also, we just sort of, when something happens, we automatically jump to a conclusion, or we automatically feel like I have to do something or something like that. So in meditation, we want to learn patience. We want to learn not to necessarily react, or learn to sort of wait and see, sort of. I grew up in Missouri, where we had a saying that when I moved up here to Michigan, I found out we say it up here too. But it's the nice cliche that says, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes and it'll be different. So if we find ourselves in a situation where we don't like what's going on, wait, it'll change. One of the, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but one of the better well-known, except for the fact that I can't remember his name, one of the more well-known Buddhist teachers likes to summarize the Buddha's teaching in 2 words: everything changes. So everything changes. If you don't like it now, wait, it's going to be different. The problem is the things that we like tend to change and go away really quickly. The things that we don't like, they never go away as quickly as we want. So again, we have to work with patience. We have to learn with acceptance, and those 2 things. So tonight we'll definitely practice some patience, and then afterwards I have a little bit of homework that I'll talk about. But first we'll just sit and meditate for a little bit. So come to a comfortable seated position, sitting up with a nice long neutral spine. Have your shoulders relaxed. Rest your hands on your lap, or have them resting on your knees. Tuck your chin ever so slightly. And as you breathe in, know that you are breathing in. And as you breathe out, know that you are breathing out. We are not trying to change anything here. We're simply observing. See if you notice where you notice the breath. Again, it might be on the tip of your nose. You might feel it as it moves down to the lungs. You might feel the belly expand with the inhalations and softly release with the exhalations. And anytime any thoughts come up, allow them to come up. Note them briefly and without judgment. And with an exhalation, simply let them go, returning the full awareness to the breath. Every now and then, a thought might come up that demands a little more attention. And it's certainly okay to let that thought become the object of your meditation and direct your awareness to that and watch that and see what it might be telling you. And as I mentioned before, how everything changes, there might be a time when you're watching that thought, and then it's time for that thought to go back to wherever it came from. But as different thoughts come up, again, if we're talking about being patient in our meditation this evening, when thoughts come up, see if you could notice your initial reaction to that thought. And see if you can, if you notice the urge to want to, quote unquote, do something about that thought. And see if it is difficult to just sit there and watch it. As you breathe in, know that you are breathing in. And as you breathe out, know that we are breathing out. When thoughts come up, allow them to come up. Note them briefly and without judgment. And with an exhalation, simply let them go, returning the full awareness to the breath. Slowly begin to bring your mind back to a more everyday state of awareness. In addition to teaching meditation classes and yoga classes, I also teach resiliency training classes and stress management classes, and all of those skills that are definitely helpful for going through periods of time like this one. And one of the things I like to teach in resilience classes and stress management classes are falling into the category of self-care. And sometimes when we have days, weeks, months like the one that we're currently in, we could forget to do things that we might normally do when we're, living our so-called regular, normal lives or whatever. So my challenge, my homework is, and this might sound very cheesy, is every day make an effort to do something for yourself. It might be something really simple. It might be really huge. I don't know. That's up to you. And if you feel like sharing it, post it on my Facebook page. We could start a thread. It could be fun. This might seem a little weird, but I cut my hair the other day. That was sort of a big deal. Yes, I know my hair, for me, a 1/4 inch of hair is really long, not just because I like it, but actually because I have a hearing aid that attaches to my head, and if my hair gets too long, well, it doesn't attach as well. So for me, doing something like that is doing something for myself. So there's that. So yeah, that's my challenge, is to remember to do something good for yourself every day. And share it with me if you like. Share it with the world if you like. Yeah. Also, keep doing your gratitude journals, because those are also a wonderful way to be happy. If I remember one of these days, I'll talk about the studies that talk about gratitude practices as being one of the highest indicators of happiness. So, yes, do your gratitude journals. It raises your dopamine and serotonin levels, so it's good for you. I will be back here 8:30 Sunday evening for the weekly metta or loving kindness meditation. But I'm not going to let you all go until we thank ourselves. So sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands into prayer position. And take a moment or two here to quietly thank yourself for coming to practice this evening. Thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the rest of your night. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Hope to see you all Sunday night. Thanks.